I've spent hours uncovering the hidden secrets of China's 12 most dangerous routes ever built. And right now, imagine your hands gripping the wheel. Every second, you're dancing on the edge between control and chaos. These are paths not made for the weak, where one wrong move could send you vanishing into the unknown. From roads carved into sheer cliffs to tracks where danger lurks in every heartbeat, survival here is never guaranteed. Out here, it's just you, your courage, and the raw, unforgiving power of nature pushing you to your limits. And right now, step into Hard Hat and uncover the hidden routes that will truly test how fearless you are. Guoliang Tunnel Road, Henan. You step onto a narrow road, barely wide enough for a single vehicle, while a cliff rising 1,300 meters towers beside you. The Guoliang Tunnel Road was carved directly into the mountainside in the rugged terrain of Henan Province. Before this path existed, the mountain village was almost completely isolated from the outside world. Looking through the rock windows cut into the cliff, you see a deep valley far below. What makes the story extraordinary is that villagers themselves carved the entire tunnel using hammers and chisels. Each strike against the rock slowly created a lifeline, connecting their village to the outside world. And today, the road stands as one of the most daring mountain routes ever built. Standing between the cliff and this narrow road, you begin to understand how determination alone can reshape a mountain. Himalayan Skyway, Tibet. The air becomes so thin that every breath feels heavier than usual. The Himalayan Skyway runs at about 5,000 meters above sea level, among the highest mountains on Earth. As the vehicle climbs higher, deep blue skies and endless snow peaks stretch across the horizon. At this altitude, oxygen levels drop sharply, challenging both humans and engines. Ice, snow, and rockfalls frequently appear along the steep mountain slopes. In winter, temperatures can plunge to around -30 degrees Celsius, turning the journey into a true endurance test. Yet the same harsh conditions create one of the most breathtaking roads on the planet. Standing between the sky and the frozen peaks, you begin to feel the fragile boundary between human ambition and raw nature. Yaxi Expressway, Sichuan. Your vehicle begins climbing a highway suspended among the clouds of Sichuan's mountain ranges. The Yaxi Expressway is widely considered one of the most dramatic and challenging highways in China. Some sections hang 360 meters above the ground, with deep valleys hidden beneath layers of mist. As the road continues, you encounter an endless series of tight mountain turns. In total, the route contains more than 240 hairpin bends, winding along the steep slopes. Thick clouds and fog often surround the area, creating a landscape that feels both majestic and dangerous. The engineers constructed numerous bridges and tunnels to conquer this extremely complex terrain. Driving through the drifting clouds, you might understand why many call it one of the most spectacular highways in the sky. Shennongjia Primitive Forest Tunnel, Hubei. You enter a road cutting through dense primeval forest where sunlight barely reaches the ground. The Shennongjia Primitive Forest Tunnel stretches about 18 kilometers through one of Hubei's most mysterious wilderness regions. As the vehicle moves forward, the surrounding landscape becomes an ocean of ancient trees and drifting mist. This untouched forest is home to many rare and elusive wildlife species. Weather conditions here change suddenly, with rain fog and wind appearing without warning. Engineers built long tunnels to cross this rugged terrain without destroying the surrounding forest ecosystem. The route now connects remote mountain regions while preserving the ancient woodland around it. Passing through this deep forest, you may sense the fragile balance between human engineering and untamed wilderness. Yangtze River Cliffside Highway, Chongqing. You are driving along a road that seems carved directly into the cliffs above the Yangtze River. Every section of this route was drilled into vertical rock walls to create a narrow path along the mountain. On your right lies a deep drop where the Yangtze flows hundreds of meters below. On your left stands a cold grey wall of rock that engineers once cut through to open this passage. When thick mountain fog rolls down from the peak's visibility ahead can shrink to only a few dozen meters. The echo of engines bouncing off the cliffs makes the journey tense, yet strangely thrilling. Each curve along this cliffside highway reminds you that this is not just a road, but a confrontation with rugged terrain. And as the vehicle continues through the mist, you realize some roads exist purely to test the courage of those who travel them. Taihang Mountain Tunnel, Shaanxi. In front of you rises a massive mountain range stretching endlessly across the horizon. The Taihang Mountain Tunnel was carved through this rugged terrain to connect regions once separated by steep cliffs. As you enter the passage, the road continues nearly 15 kilometers through the dark interior of the mountain. Above your head lie hundreds of meters of solid rock, where nature once made travel nearly impossible. During the rainy season, landslides and water flow from mountain crevices can become serious threats. Engineers therefore designed strong reinforcement and drainage systems to protect the tunnel. This underground route has transformed a remote mountain barrier into an important transport corridor. Standing inside the tunnel, you can feel how human determination managed to carve a path through the mountains. Mithang Mountain Road, Sichuan. Your wheels roll slowly along a road so narrow that only one vehicle can pass at a time. Mithang Mountain Road clings tightly to a vertical cliff in the rugged mountains of Sichuan. Looking out the window, you see no guardrails, only a deep drop disappearing into the valley below. The road winds across the mountainside like a thin scar carved into a giant rock wall. Every meter forces the driver to move carefully and keep a steady grip on the wheel. Yet this danger is exactly what turns the route into an unforgettable adventure for explorers. As the vehicle slowly navigates each bend, you feel the fragile line between road and abyss. And sometimes one glance down the cliff is enough to understand why this road fascinates and frightens at the same time. Shyman Mountain Road, Sichuan. Imagine standing at the base of a road, climbing straight toward the sky, where tight turns twist across a sheer mountainside. Shyman Mountain Road is famous for its 108 consecutive hairpin bends carved into the steep slopes. As the vehicle begins climbing, you feel the intense gradient, approaching a 45-degree incline. Looking out the window, you see deep valleys and endless mountain ridges stretching toward the horizon. The road coils along the cliff like a narrow ribbon suspended above the landscape. Each curve demands complete focus from drivers navigating the steep mountain terrain. Yet the same difficulty has turned the route into one of the most spectacular mountain drives in the region. If you ever had to drive through 108 hairpin turns above a deep cliff, would you feel thrill or nervous excitement? Baima Pass, Sichuan. Your vehicle slowly climbs a dirt road so steep, it feels like driving straight into the mountainside. Baima Pass is known for slopes that can reach nearly 60 degrees in the rugged mountains of Sichuan. As the tires roll across the muddy surface, every meter becomes a serious challenge. On both sides of the road stand towering cliffs and deep valleys hidden in mist. Falling rocks from the cliffs above remain a constant threat to travelers. Driving here demands intense concentration and careful control. Yet the harsh terrain makes the pass one of the most unforgettable mountain routes. Standing on this extreme mountain road, you begin to understand why such places inspire both respect and curiosity. Chongqing-Liang Expressway, Chongqing/Yunnan. Your car exits a tunnel and suddenly bursts onto a bridge suspended among towering limestone mountains. The Chongqing-Liang Expressway crosses one of the most complex karst landscapes in southwest China. As you continue driving, the road repeatedly disappears into mountains and reappears on high bridges. Along more than 200 kilometers, engineers constructed 278 bridges and tunnels. Looking down from the elevated spans, you see limestone valleys and rivers winding through the terrain. This highway transformed an extremely rugged region into a fast transportation corridor. Yet every transition from tunnel to bridge reveals the immense scale of engineering against nature. Only by traveling this road yourself can you truly understand why it is considered a remarkable transport achievement. Queershan Pass, Yunnan. You drive straight into a wall of dense fog where the road ahead almost disappears. Queershan Pass lies deep within the rugged mountains of Yunnan, where mist lingers most of the year. At times, visibility drops below 5 meters, turning every movement into a careful decision. As the vehicle creeps through a curve, deep cliffs hide on both sides, beneath the white fog. The narrow road twists along the mountainside like a path suspended between earth and sky. Drivers rely heavily on experience and instinct to move forward meter by meter. Yet the endless fog gives the landscape a mysterious and dramatic beauty. Hard Hat wonders, if you had to cross a mountain pass where you could only see a few meters ahead, would it feel terrifying or unforgettable? Taklamakan Desert Highway, Xinjiang. Before you stretches an endless ocean of golden sand, where a thin highway slices across the heart of the desert. The Taklamakan Desert Highway runs about 522 kilometers through one of the harshest deserts in Asia. As your vehicle moves forward, massive dunes surround the road in every direction. Sandstorms can rise suddenly and erase the horizon within minutes. In summer, the road's surface temperature can reach nearly 70 degrees Celsius, challenging both vehicles and construction materials. Engineers planted hundreds of kilometers of protective vegetation belts to prevent sand from burying the highway. This road transformed an isolated desert into a vital transportation corridor across Xinjiang. Driving across this sea of sand, would it feel like an adventure or a survival test to you?